Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Dr. Mike Scruggs, and on behalf of the Black Man Think Tank, I want to thank both of you for joining us for this forum conversation as it relates to our inundated with candidates for City Council coming up next month. And so we wanted to just have an opportunity for you guys to share information, who you are, et cetera. So if you do me a favor and give your names.
I'm Councilman Mark Jeffries.
I'm Gary Favors.
And so we're going to jump right into it and put you guys both on the hot seat. So I'll start off with the initial question. What is your strategy to ensure that public and private investments don't just reach downtown, but also uplift neighborhoods like Avondale, Bond Hill, and the West End? So as a sitting council member, I'll let you start off.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for this forum and the opportunity. Let me talk about what I've done and then what I plan to do. One of my big focus is on economic empowerment. I'm somebody who actually grew up in a gentrifying neighborhood. I grew up in affordable housing. I grew up on food stamps. I had a union job to allow me to go through college. And I did all that because I had a network of support. I had good teachers, good public schools, good mentors in religion. And that allowed me to succeed. And so that's the model as I think about neighborhoods. First of all, I've been walking all 52 neighborhoods, literally contiguously, started on the west side, walking through, understanding the issues and concerns. Some of the things that I've done in the last couple of years, the West End as an example. I made one of my budget priorities allocating $1 million to the West End for helping small businesses open. So you have a lot of what's called gray box stores in the West End, make them white box so that folks don't have to put in plumbing, electrical, etc. And then second, for home ownership that went through Seven Hills Neighborhood Housing. That's a smart investment. The other one was allocating $2 million to the ROMAC. The ROMAC is an amazing institution, and what we need in neighborhoods, that's a great example, what we need in neighborhoods are anchor institutions, and the ROMAC is going to be an anchor institution. The anchor institution could be a church, it could be a community center, it could be a rec center, it could be a library, similarly in Avondale. So that's my approach on council, and very actively involved with each of those neighborhoods. I go out to community councils 2 to 3 times a month to understand what the issues and concerns are, and it all starts with listening to what those are.
Mr. Favors, same question. What is your strategy to ensure that public and private investments don't just reach downtown, but also uplift neighborhoods like Avondale, Bond Hill, and West End?
I think one of the things, as I was listening to Mr. Jeffries about listening to our neighborhoods, is so important. Is to listen to the stakeholders in the community in Avondale, Bond Hill, all those areas. I remember as a child driving past Swift & Commons Mall, where that's now empty. I believe in developing every neighborhood, specifically in our Black community, like the Bond Hill area, and specifically pouring money into those areas where it reaches our kids. As a school teacher, that's important for me, that kids see development not just downtown, not just in other parts of the neighborhood, that they see that their communities are being taken care of.
And I'll stay with you on this next question. So now, what do you see as the root cause for some of the violence that's driving our neighborhoods? Right now, that is a big topic across the country. And so what do you think are some of the root causes for the violence, and then plans to address them if you get on council?
One of the things that I am endorsed by the FOP, I believe that one of the root problems, we have broken homes and we have broken families. A lot of my students I have come from single parent homes, and it's a struggle for mom to be at home and work. It's a struggle for the child to be there by themselves. So there are many social economical issues that our young people face, and how can the city partner better with CPS in helping our kids developing skills like the trades and all those things that we need. So I think collaboration is one of my biggest strengths.
Same question as it relates to root cause of violence in our city right now, and then how do you plan to address it? And I guess you could speak to how you have been addressing it as of right now.
I think generally we're in agreement. I think all of us would agree that a lot of the root cause is fundamentally just lack of opportunity.
Yes.
Opportunity in education, opportunity in job opportunity. In education, I do think we have to be even tighter with CPS. There are two specific things I think we need to work on. The fact that there are 4,300 homeless CPS kids. That's not just a CPS problem, it's a city problem. Second is 42% of CPS kids are chronically absent. It means they miss at least 10% of school. It's like 1 or 2 days a month. You just can't learn. And that's not just a CPS issue, we have to address it. So it's on the front end. I do think it means job programs for kids. It means keeping the rec open. We've opened all the rec pools through the summer. It means helping kids get into jobs in the summer, learning what it means. We've also funded, I put forward $200,000 to fund the Building Futures program. So the Building Futures program where the FLCIO, the Urban League, they just graduated the 6th cohort of classes. And for those of folks who are watching who aren't familiar, it's essentially like a sampler for the building trades. So, for us, for example, if we've never been a plumber or electrician or iron worker, you have no idea. And so you go and you sample it for a little bit, and then you're like, wow, I want to be a electrician or whatever. And then you become an apprentice. So the average is $36 an hour already for these folks who are graduating. We have people who are homeless. We have to scale that. So it creates opportunity for folks. So it's about education. It's about job opportunity for kids and adults.
So now shift the conversation just a little bit. So right now we have I would say, lack of better terms, the threat of national government coming into city government. You see some of that with ICE that's taking place. And so with federal agencies such as ICE seeking cooperation from local police, there is the thought that can erode trust in black communities. So what is your position regarding that local cooperation with ICE, number one, and then how would you help to protect the civil rights while keeping public safety?
Yeah, so I'm assuming I go first.
Yeah.
Thank you, because you're alternating. So a couple things on that. First, I think we've been super clear. The job of our police is to police our city. We have a shortage of police now, which is why we've authorized twice as many police recruits as the previous 4 years. We need to have the police focus on our streets, keeping them safe, not on helping the feds. What I would say, though, is if there's a mass murderer or something who happens to be in this country undocumented, I personally am like, of course we should help. We don't want somebody who is clearly unsafe on our streets. But we don't need to be witch hunting people. And what we saw, for example, over in Price Hill was horrible, where a gentleman who was from, I think, Central America originally, went to get birthday candles for his kid, and his kid was with him, and ICE nabbed him. He didn't have a criminal record or anything. And that is tearing these communities apart. It's tearing, a lot of, our family has been a sponsor for a family from Congo, a refugee family. And the fear in these communities is really prevalent, and it's really horrible. And so, we're not about, hey, how can we advance that? No, we want to be a welcoming city, welcoming everybody in the city and making them feel like this is their home, because it is.
Mr. Same question in terms of the cooperation of federal groups such as ICE with our local police, and how that deters the public and
Right.
trying to keep public safety.
I think the perception now is in many cities where the federal government has come in and brought National Guard in some of the major cities where crime is up. I'm totally opposed to that, because when you do that, you take away the autonomy and the authority, I believe, of your local officials being able to police our neighborhoods, who know the neighbors. I'm just opposed to bringing in folks from the outside in to do the job. That we have a strong police department. We need more of them. But I think giving them the resources to do their job is key, and building those relationships. I keep going back to relationship building, what I do with my students. I wouldn't get past anything if I didn't build a relationship, specifically with my black boys, and helping them to see that the police are not against them. We need to build relationships, more mentoring programs. And I think the role of ICE, I think that has to be watched, that we get rid of criminals, but not to come in and disrupt families who've obviously been here.
So here's my last question for both of you. Why should Black Cincinnatians trust you with their vote? And same thing, I'll speak to all candidates, whether you are Black or not. This is not just assuming just because I am that you should trust me with your vote, and or because I'm not that you shouldn't. And so being able to speak directly to that question, I'll start with Mr. Favor, since I was already on. Since you just finished off the last question, why should Black Cincinnatians trust you with their vote? Excuse me.
I think one of the reasons why they should trust me, I've been a teacher for 25 years, been in the school system. Majority of my kids are Black kids, specifically Black boys. I have a passion for educating kids and working with my families and helping their children and helping the parent advocate for their child, because there's so much I can do as a teacher, but when a parent's voice speaks, they tend to listen better than an employee. So I believe in that. The reason why Black voters should vote for me is because I've got a proven track record of helping specifically black kids, especially Black boys, try to stay out of that prison to pipeline scenario. So I have a passion. I've been in this city, grew up. I believe the role as well as a church should play. I grew up in the church and had two parents who loved me, two parents who made sure I had a roof over my head, food on the table. A lot of kids don't have that, and that's my passion. So,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I'd say two things. One, I'm in the community. As I mentioned, I'm walking all the 52 neighborhoods, but beyond that, I'm working on projects in the community. So that's one. The second is, I would say, judge me by what I've done, not by what I promised to do. And I'll talk about some of the things that I've done. Addressing historical disparities. A couple examples. The Dunlap neighborhood in Madisonville, decimated by Red Bank Expressway. I became aware of their plight and their story. It completely disappeared. And we worked with them, my office, over the course of a year to develop a historic marker on acknowledging, recognizing the wrong that was done. Very powerful. And that was from the community. Second, in the Mill Creek Valley, the residents have said for years, we don't want bombs going off at the fire training center. Decades. I got the city manager to stop detonating bombs. That is very meaningful for the people who live there. That is a real result. The United American Cemetery, also in Madisonville, the second largest African American cemetery in the country. I personally donated my staff salary, part of my staff salary to them. I've done cleanups there. I've been working with them also on historic marker because it's amazing history, but also working with them to restore. Those are often forgotten. We talk about Black Lives Matter, but we don't take care of the cemeteries. How about people who are dead? So it's addressing those disparities, but also investing. I mentioned the West End, $1 million to the West End, building futures as well. I've been working over the last 3 years on a project in the Mill Creek Valley with all of the Mill Creek, South Cumminsville, Millville, which are some of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. And we just unveiled last week, we created with the community a pocket park. They said, hey, we want more green space. And we created a pocket park with the community, and all the community members were there. That is a small, meaningful step forward. It's not going to solve everything, but it certainly is a step forward. So those are just a few of the things. I think people can look at what I've done, concrete things. In Avondale, community said, hey, we have a new connection between Avondale and Evanston on the West End Way, but we need lighting because it's not very safe. And I advocated and got $500,000 for lighting. So each one of these things, I think it's important to listen to what the community wants and then advocate specific things, not platitudes over, what are you going to do and, all these promises, but I would advocate that look at what I've done, and I think I have a proven track record of delivering really concrete, meaningful improvements in quality of life in a lot of African American neighborhoods.
All right, gentlemen, thank you once again for your
Thank you
time, and
very
then we'll get ready to hit those polls in a couple of weeks.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you once again.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.